Back with you, 5th grade, for another language arts lesson. Lesson number 4, and the title of today's lesson is Reading Poetry. Wonder how you're enjoying this light unit by now. Hopefully you're enjoying it. By the way, does anybody know what the word Inglenook means? The word came up in a poem yesterday. Inglenook. I wonder if any of you figured out what that means. The word means a nook or a corner by a large open fireplace. A nook by a large open fireplace. A place that's just right for sitting and reading. Today's lesson, again, is reading poetry. When I was in school, I mistakenly thought that poems should be read in a way that brings out the rhythm, so kind of in a sing-song way. But I was mistaken, and since then I've learned that poems should be read more by thought. Think about the thought. Read it to emphasize the thought and not the rhythm or the rhyme. Poetry will have special effect because it uses special language or rhythm or rhyme. So the things that we talk about that relate to poems, like rhythm, rhyme, figurative speech, all those things contribute to a poem, and those things are more of a subconscious thing. It's the words of a poem that we should try to emphasize. And I'm going to continue reading from your pink box. You should read poetry just like you read anything else, by observing punctuation marks. By observing punctuation marks. When we talk, we put emphasis on important words or thoughts, and so same way with poems, put emphasis on the thoughts. And I'm going to illustrate that by looking at the two phrases there in your pink box. The two phrases after the second paragraph. This illustrates how we should read to emphasize the thought. These two phrases should not be read the same way. I'll try to read them the way they should be read. The first one is hush, little baby, close your eyes. So we're going to emphasize the thought. Hush, little baby, close your eyes. The second one is clap and jump and shout for joy. So we're going to emphasize the thought of that phrase. Clap and jump and shout for joy. Those two should be read differently. So that's what we're talking about. Emphasize the thought in a poem. I'm going to read the last paragraph in your pink box yet. When reading poetry to someone else, you will want to be familiar with the poem so you know what emphasis to use. Read a poem aloud to yourself several times before reading it to someone else. And that's a really good point. The more you read something aloud to yourself, the better the job you can do when you read it to someone, because you get familiar with it. If you have a personal copy of a poem, you can underline words in the poem to emphasize and make notes on what sort of emphasis to use. You could also make notes on a separate paper. Alright, so the main thought of today's lesson is to learn to read poetry by thoughts as it would be spoken. I'm going to read the poem in part A to you. You're supposed to read it yourself. I'm going to read it to you and try to emphasize the thought of the poem as I read. This poem is written by James Joyce, and it comes from a larger poem titled All Day I Hear. And if I absorb the words of this poem, it takes me to a place by the sea, and it makes me feel like the day must be dreary and cold, uncomfortable, and even the waves sound cold and unhappy, and the birds, or the one bird that this poem talks about, even makes it feel more lonely and dreary. All day I hear the noise of waters making moan, sad as a seabird is when going forth alone. He hears the winds cry to the water's monotone. The gray winds, the cold winds are blowing as I go. I hear the noise of many waters far below. All day, all night, I hear them flowing to and fro. It also talks about the unceasing sound of the sea, all day, all night. And I'd like to read one more poem while we're talking about thoughts, poems. One more poem out of this book, A Family of Poems by Caroline Kennedy. And again, I'm going to try to emphasize the thought and hopefully find it enjoyable. This poem's written by Rachel Field. The title is Something Told the Wild Geese. Something told the wild geese it was time to go. Though the fields lay golden, something whispered, snow. Leaves were green and stirring, berries luster glossed, but beneath warm feathers something cautioned, frost. All the sagging orchards steamed with amber spice, but each wild breath stiffened at remembered ice. Something told the wild geese it was time to fly. Summer sun was on their wings, winter in their cry. That poem takes us to fall, and the sound and the scene of geese flying south for the winter, even though it's not cold yet. Okay, let's discuss part D of today's lesson just a bit. I'll give you time to turn there. Part D. Rewrite this dialogue correctly using paragraphs, capitalization, and punctuation. Be on the lookout for dialogue, which is people talking. Remember what comes with dialogue? Quotation marks, and then extra commas, and also indentation. Remember to indent your paragraphs whenever, or to indent your line whenever someone starts talking. A new paragraph starts whenever someone starts talking that wasn't talking. Or, let me say that differently. A new paragraph starts each time the story changes speakers. Each time someone different starts talking. Tomorrow is a quiz. So get also, after the quiz, you'll have another language arts lesson. Lesson number 6. So another lesson tomorrow too for that. That's it for today. Have a good rest of the day. You know, I'm ready for a good game of King's Base or basketball. So, what shall we play? Let's play King's Base. And you can be dismissed for recess.